There are people who want to say that Donald Trump is playing 5D chess. There are people who are saying he's the worst thing since Lucifer. And in between, there are all sorts of mixed messages. So it's a very confusing time where things are not settled. And then if I was to move into West Asia, all the old alliances where we took it for granted that, the Saudis and the Khaliji monarch, who are essentially American satellites and puppets, and indeed Israeli ones, those seem to be in some sort of flux as well. And that all forms part of this war on Iran and this obsession to destroy it, to balkanize it. I want to unpack especially the Arab attitudes and where they are with this war on Iran, how the world will look if this kind of hegemony continue. And also perhaps we see a world emerging where there is multipolarity. Your overview.
We'll start with the big fundamental geopolitical riddle in the region is the colonial settler state project known as Israel. Is Israel the tail that wags the U.S. dog, or is Israel a set piece on the imperial geopolitical chessboard used by the U.S. empire to further their own geopolitical ends? And that's the big question. My answer to that is actually it is both. So there is a nuance there. When we talk about the U.S. empire, I think we have to always frame that, at least I do, as the Anglo-American-led Western empire, because that's where the real power is. Even if you look at NATO, all the top positions in NATO, it's U.S. number one, Britain number two. All the other NATO member states don't really have any agency in terms of setting the agenda. So the special relationship between Britain and the United States is extremely important. The State of Israel, it's a British creation initially, but the U.S. have taken over stewardship of that project and the region after the Suez Crisis. The sort of diminishing of the British Empire as one of the big blows was the Suez debacle, and this where the United States saw the opportunity to move in. The Cold War was starting to begin to simmer at that point, so it became a priority for the Americans to kind of take control over the region. What's happened is, while Israel has been a beachhead for Western imperialism, and what's happened as well with regards to Israel is it has developed a network of influence within U.S. politics, within European and British politics now, but mainly let's talk about the U.S. That influence is now, that tail has outgrown the dog. It is a massive tail, and that tail is now controlling U.S. foreign policy decision-making. Think about that. Look at all the irrational things and the crazy things that we have witnessed over the last 12 months. Why is that? Because the U.S. and this president is not sovereign. The executive branch is not sovereign, and effectively that means the United States is not in control of its own foreign policy. That's extraordinary.
So it seems as though what was sort of unsaid, if you like, truth about American democracy is now becoming naked reality.